Welcome to the Convene Podcast. My name is Magdalina Atanassova, digital media editor of Convene and your host. Today's episode is a look back to Season 1 of the Convene Podcast, recorded at Convening EMEA 2023, where we brought together different generations to share their perspectives on hot industry topics. In Episode 1, we discussed the future of work with Laura Caprioli and Dr. Zina Burgess. Here's what they had to say about how to run effective job interviews.
I also don't run interviews in a formal way. They're conversations usually with a range of different people, because I think it's really important to meet the people you might be working with as well as meet the people you'll be reporting to, because both people are buying. It's not I'm the employer, so I'm buying labour. You're making a marriage. You want it to work.
Yes. What we are doing also is putting it as sort of recruiting panel or interview panel, people coming from different generations of different backgrounds, because that also helps providing different perspectives on the candidates. I might have an opinion, and then, I have a male boss who's 20 years older than me, and he might think something totally different, and that helps having different perspectives and, saying one thing or another thing. So, having these different generation, different people in an interview panel really, really helps as well. And then having someone, I recently found out in the interview panel, who is more or less your age, or that someone you identify with, it also helps and relaxes you in the interview. I never really want to do something like very formal, structured discussion. I like a little bit more informal, like interviews, more relaxed conversation, putting a person really comfortable, because once you're comfortable, that's when you can start open up and really say what we want to hear from the employer perspective. While if you have lots of standard fixed question, very formal, maybe you have that sort of prepared answer in your mind, and doesn't necessarily reflect the person you are. I believe.
I think what you said about the mixed panel is really important, because the research shows that you're much more likely to appoint someone who's similar to yourself. So if you've got a panel that's all the same, you're likely to appoint another candidate who's just the same again. And when you've got all people that are the same, you all tend to see the world through the same window. And so what's new in that? It's boring. So the mixed panel is really good.
In Episode 2, Amelie Tremoliers and Annalisa Ponkia, who are at different stages in their careers, talked about why they love the industry and why mentorship is so important to them.
Essential. Mentorship is essential. First of all, from a senior position, I would say, is my way to give back to anyone in this career. The mentorship I receive is time to give it back. Is a duty, is an ethical duty, I have to say, is a leadership duty. If you are a leader, you are a mentor as well, by definition. That is the way I see it. It's a fantastic opportunity also, because when you're mentoring someone, you're also learning a lot. So it's not that because you are in a senior position, you don't have anything to learn. You can learn from a young professional, especially a talented young professional, so much. It helps you to bridge yourself into this kind of, new generation, new world, whatever new it is, and makes you to feel at the level of. I see a lot of colleagues, they are standing still on the status quo, and that is the real danger for the senior position, not really accepting any change. Mentoring, they are patronizing young colleague rather than mentoring. I don't like that at all. So I do think mentorship is essential and the best way to go.
And Amelie, have you been in this role of reverse mentorship? So not having a mentor, but you also mentoring back?
No, I'm not mentoring. I didn't have the chance yet. But I still think that mentoring is essential. In our organization, I'm not mentoring anyone, but I feel like people in leadership positions are really listening to me, and I really have my say, and they don't judge me or judge my opinion because of my age, and I think that's really important. And they realize that they also have to learn from me. I have a lot to learn from them as well. And this multi-generational exchange is very important. In general, I'm not talking about mentorship programs specific. I think mentorship can also be kind of unofficial, like it can be done just by exchanging with your leaders and younger staff. Yeah. And also our generation is has gone through COVID, has gone through a digital transformation, and we have a very different approach to work-life balance, to values, and to business. The way we work is completely different from our mentors, one of our mentors. And so it's very important to discuss and exchange to avoid creating too much of a gap that would lead to people not understanding each other and just misfunctioning workplaces. I think that being able to listen to each other and being conscious that we all have to learn from each other is key.
Does sustainability in events have to be such a heavy topic? Maria Duthorn and Ben Hodehibur shared the positive side of event sustainability and the wins we've made.
I'm really looking forward to going these next steps and try to make my personal impact that I have. Because as we talked about that yesterday, how many people we can reach with all the 550 people here participating at the Convening EMEA. We reach like millions of people with our daily work. So we're a good starting point to talk about that and to force the people to go these steps. So I think we really can have an impact. I don't know how the future will look like, but in the best case, it's just going forward, better, more sustainable.
I think what excites me is, we've just created this new infrastructure within our company, which is great because it gives you the ability to bring in all the different departments that we have. And what excites me is to rally the troops internally, but then also being able to create stuff that helps our clients, because eventually that's why we're there. So the exciting thing is that it's big, and that you can strategize around it, and that you can really make, like I said, you can make an impact in your company, because people are realizing that they need to do something, but there needs to be a structure behind that, and that's what excites me.
Felix Willard and Christine Hense had some interesting takes on the future of conferences in episode 4, and they shared what often holds event planners back.
So as we are used to do things like we did them for really a lot of years, I think there is the wish to go back to those comfortable times. But we need to develop our staff, we need to train and take our teams with us to enable them to go this dynamic path and to feel themselves like a consultant or more than a partner, because all the basic services, I would call it, so registration, hotel bookings, and all those logistic things, these are things that might be supported by AI, by more digital tools, but creativity is what we can bring in, and good solutions and flexibility. And this is a development we have to undergo, and this will challenge our teams for sure, and it's not comfortable.
I agree on that. So for me, one thing is education, and the other thing is that we have to change our culture in terms of, is it allowed to make mistakes? So as we try to be more flexible and efficient and try to adapt to new technologies, we always have to implement new things to our conferences. So new means our team hasn't done it before, or maybe just heard about that, but we won't do it perfect the first time.
Content creation was our focus in episode 5 with guests Sine Schunemann and Silvano Scherer. During the episode, they warned event professionals about having a lack of focus in this very loud and busy world that we live in.
What I see especially in, sometimes in the industry, people are just doing marketing with not target-driven they don't know what at the end they want to reach, or what is the overall goal of this. And if you just push stuff out and you don't know what you want to reach, how will you know if you're successful or not?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And it's about sticking to the plan. Sometimes also. You get so many good ideas and so many good inputs, and that's the beauty of the internet as well, right? That you constantly just boomed with inputs and great ideas, but it's sometimes also sticking to the initial plan and not getting overwhelmed with tons of opportunities. And I think that's, especially as a marketeer, that's sometimes the struggle, like, oh, here's a great idea for a new campaign, or here's a surgeon need, or like urgent need, or how do we actually stay focused on the actual target? I totally agree.
We closed the season with Albert Garcia and Stephen Rose. They drove home the point that event professionals' roles will need to evolve as they embrace technology.
To be very clear, job roles are changing constantly anyhow. I mean, if you look back 20, 30 years, let's say 40 years, no computers, 20 years, no internet. So I think thinking about the idea of job roles being constant is the wrong approach. We have to learn every day. We have to re-question if we're still doing the right things every day. And we have to adopt to new challenges and technologies every day. This is a constant. Change is the new normal.
I agree with you. I think job roles will change, and they should change, because that's what happens with the time. Obviously, we didn't have computers. We did everything on paper. Now we have computers. Now we have Wi-Fi, now we have the internet, and now we have AI. So I do think they will change. I think it will take some time, because some people in their roles might be scared of what AI can do to their role. They might become redundant because AI can do it better than them and faster and cheaper. And I think people will take longer to adopt those tools because they are scared of that. But I think eventually, yes, it will change roles. Yeah, and I think it should.
And AI is not going to kill the jobs, but people not using AI, they will have an issue.
Thank you all for being a part of our Season 1 journey, recorded during Convening EMEA in Copenhagen, Denmark. If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to hear more, please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you would like additional perspectives on the industry, check out pcma.org/convene. Until next time.